Final round of the Formula 4 1600 Championship from Dunlop Park last Sunday. I must say, as the years have gone on, things have improved at Mondello. It really was an exciting weekend down there, Leinster Trophy time. Your commentators, John Kenny and Richard Young.
This is the final round of the DHL Worldwide Express National Formula 4 1600 Championship, incorporating the Star of Tomorrow Championship. And this is the final round. And on pole, it is Michael Crohan in the Swift. Alongside him, the all-conquering Neil Shanahan in the Van Diemen RF90. He's won every round of the championship so far, bar the second round here at Mondello Park, and he's a champion by a mile. With me is Richard Young. Richard Young, you know Neil Shanahan. He's had some heck of a year.
He's had a brilliant year. There were some doubts until the last event here at Mondello Park as to how good he was at actually racing, because he had a habit of rushing out in front and controlling the race and never seeing another car. But last time he ran in Mark Cullen's Z-Tech car in the main Ford race, fought his way through and proved himself to be a very good all-round race driver. And I think he's going to have to do that again today, because it's one of the few times he hasn't started from pole.
Yes, watching qualifying, Neil Shanahan for a long time was down in third and fourth place, and it was only in the last couple of laps when the track started to dry up this morning after qualifying, or after wet race qualifying, that he actually moved himself up onto the front row of the grid alongside Michael Crohan. And Michael Crohan has been his main protagonist all season, of course, because he lies second in the championship. It's Shanhan, of course, is how you pronounce his name correctly. And there he is on the front row of the grid, car number 14, our pole sitter. The 5 second to go board is being shown to Shanhan and also to Neil Shanahan and the rest of the competitors in this final round of the DHL Worldwide Express National Formula 4 1600 race. And they get away first time, and a wonderful start from the outside of the front row by Shanahan, and he has taken the early lead as they head of the country. Somebody in the back of the grid going off onto the grass, but it is Shanahan who's shown his composure, waving his hand frantically in the air. The front two cars, it's Neil Shanahan and Michael Crohan, and unfortunately that first corner incident has slowed these cars right down into a parade lap. Saying at the start of the race, Neil Shanahan had a terrific race in the park. Is he a bit wasted down in the 1600 series? Should he not be up with the more expensive and better contested 1800 class?
Well, of course, it was his first year in cars after a karting career, and I think 1600 is a very good place to start if you're planning a single-seater career. Next year, he ought to be in Z-Techs or Formula Opel or something like that. He's certainly capable of driving one of those every bit as well as a lot of the established stars, and I think he has a great future. He's one of the best-looking newcomers I've seen for a long time. So we start racing at the end of this lap. The two leaders closing up now, because if Michael Crohan can get the jump on Neil Shanahan as the race restarts, well, if he can get ahead, very good chance that he could stay there. And Michael badly wants to win one of these races because he's been in his opponent's shadow for most of the year.
And the pace car pulls away, and they are back to racing. And as I said, 7 laps to go, because they were still racing as they went round behind the pace car, and Shanahan has got the drum on Shanhan, and he leads as they go into the first corner. Car number 77 there, Damien Burke in the Mondial, holding a watching brief in third place.
David Donegan behind him, and John Whelan back after a long absence from racing next. Then it's Brendan McKenna getting very sideways in the Swift as they go through the left-hander, and the rest of them streaming through. But Neil Shanahan appears to have this one under control. First away, he had his choice of line for the corners. He liked to keep the doors, if not closed, certainly only ajar, and Michael Crohan chose not to stick his nose in there because he's got another 7 laps in which to find a way around.
This is the battle for the lead between Neil Shanahan and Michael Crohan, and this the battle for third. It's a real train now. John, it's up to Johnny Whelan, that is in the Van Diemen, up to third place overall, as we once again go back to the battle for the lead.
Michael Crohan trying down the inside at the final corner, and Neil Shanahan just gets the door closed, but only just. He couldn't have got a bit of tissue paper in there.
Yes, in the second round, I was saying, the second round of this championship, it was Neil Shanahan's time for a non-finish, and Michael Crohan actually took the race win that day. But it's the only time he's actually won all season, because Shanahan has been all dominant, and he's right underneath his gearbox as they head out the country, out into this left-hander. But Shanahan, as he's been doing all season, has been holding off all comers. He's won every single round, as I say, bar that second round when he had a non-finish, which actually resulted in a victory for Crohan.
It looks for all the world today as though Michael Crohan has the speed, but Neil Shanahan had the start, and that's what's keeping you in front. Once you can choose the bit of road you're going to drive on, you can then choose the bit of road that your opponent's going to drive on, and that's what makes it very, very difficult for somebody to get past.
This is a real battle for the lead. Can he get that inside line? No, he can't. Very well done. Neil Shanahan just closes the door and keeps that lead. 3 laps to go.
Heading down towards the S's. A possible place for an overtaking move, but Michael there put a couple of wheels in the dirt. That'll have slowed him a bit. And indeed, he's going to have to follow Shanahan through here and maybe make a move at the final turn, the final right-hander, because that, again, if Neil Shanahan chooses to be on the wrong side of the road, he'll leave a gap.
Well, he did the right side of the road there, and down the back side, and he gets a clip, and he's lost his nose cone, he's lost part of the chassis, his ankle's pumping in the air when that nose cone is flipped up that way. Unfortunately, he's going to lose some downforce now, and I can't see Michael Keohane getting around, or can he do so? He tries around the outside, he's on the ragged edge. Can he get around the outside? No, he needs to be on the inside here, going out the country, the left-hand side of Keohane, but that was a dramatic moment.
It certainly was, and he hasn't given up yet. Even if he has to carry this car to the finishing line, he's going to finish somewhere very close to Neil Shanahan. There, the remains of his nose tucked up the Van Diemen's gearbox as they go through the double apex. He's got just the S's and one corner to go if he's going to prove his point here. Down the hill into the first part of the S's. Neil Shanahan trying to cover all the bases. Michael right under his gearbox again.
Yes, he looked extremely angry there when he clipped Shanahan. He probably reckoned that Shanahan braked far too late as he tried up the inside. This is the very last turn. Can Keohane do anything about it? He tries around the outside. That is not the right line. You have to be on the inside line to take the win here, and it will be Neil Shanahan who once again is dominant in the 1600 class. He's been a champion all year. He's won every single round bar one, and he's getting a little bit overexcited there. Second place, Michael Keohane in the Swift. It's the Van Diemen who wins the Swift in second place, and in third place, Damien Burke up to third place in the Mondial. Let's have a look at this once again as they go up into that top corner. Did Shanahan brake too late?
I think maybe he even braked a little bit earlier, and that's what caught Michael on the hop. But either way, there wasn't really a gap there to go for, and I think he just found that it was a car where he expected a bit of empty road.
Yes, you can see Keohane actually stuck his hand out and said, that was my line, but Shanahan wins.